We are currently at the border between Botswana and Zimbabwe. I'm not feeling too good, unfortunately, we're feeling a little stressed about that. But we have just gone through border control and I have my visa. My vision was all purple. I couldn't see anything. My throat hurts. I've got body aches. I've got fevers. I've got chills. Got a headache. So we're heading to Victoria Falls now in Zimbabwe, and we're gonna take on the next challenge. Another one of those rainstorms while we're sitting waiting at the border. Nikias is inside doing the customs paperwork. Please give me $10. After a absolutely horrific border crossing, where we had to pay way more money than we legally should. It was cash only, and oh my god. Getting road border crossings in Africa, no joke. And so we drove about 60 kilometers into Zimbabwe. We are in the next country. We've arrived in Victoria Falls, which is a major city and home to the really big, tall, famous waterfall. We've booked an Airbnb for tonight because we're just not feeling like camping right now. We made it. Look how cute it is. From Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. We ended up staying in an Airbnb and we're there again tonight because we just really needed a break after everything. We don't think that what I have is malaria because malaria takes 1 to 3 weeks to show up after you've been bitten, and a week ago we were still not camping, so we don't think that that's possible. So we think it's more likely just that after this extreme stress we've been under the last couple of days, that it's probably just exhaustion and stress, and being out in the wild and in the rain and just, yeah. So we're hoping it's just that. So today in the Airbnb we slept for about 12 hours, which was good. I didn't sleep well, but I am feeling better today. It's just my throat now that's really killing me. It hurts to swallow, but I can live with that. So now we're in Victoria Falls, and we've just driven to this place called the Lookout Cafe, which like 3 different people gave us a recommendation to. It's supposed to be able to look, literally, as the name says, right over the famous Victoria Falls. We have eaten for the first time in 36 hours, and we're feeling a lot better. So now we can go see the waterfall. I've seen all of the stops, a much longer walk than we thought, of the Zimbabwean side. Of course, the Zambian border is right there. So I'm gonna pop across the border and see it from the Zambian side and check off another country. Victoria Falls is mostly in Zimbabwe, but there is a border crossing to the Zambian side of Victoria Falls, and you can just walk across the border. Unfortunately, Nikias is not going to come on this expedition because he doesn't have his yellow fever vaccination, and we're not 100% sure if they're going to ask for proof of it to get back into Zimbabwe. So I'll only be there for like 2 hours. I'm going to cross the border, check out the falls, and come back to Zimbabwe. It's a bit of a weird experience walking across a border in Africa between Zimbabwe and Zambia. It's the border right there. Border crossing I've ever done. Literally, I walked through, got a stamp, didn't pay anything, didn't ask me anything. I'm in Zambia. $30 US I paid in Zimbabwe to see the falls doesn't count in Zambia, so I've paid another $20 to see the falls from Zambia. A little misty. Admittedly, Victoria Falls is better from Zimbabwe. You see much more of the main falls. But having said that, I'm glad I've seen it from both sides. That's pretty damn cool. We agreed to meet at the Zimbabwean border crossing at 5 p.m, which is in about 45 minutes. The entry into Zambia took about 2 seconds. It was very easy, but we know from experience that entering Zimbabwe, at least the experience we had yesterday, takes a little bit longer because you gotta do forms and everything and customs and stuff like that. So I'm giving myself enough time to walk back across the bridge and get back into Zimbabwe. It was a total breeze. They didn't even ask me how long I'd been there. They didn't ask for yellow fever, that's for sure. Just went in, paid my $30, and have my second full page visa. Morning, we are about to leave Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. We're just we're refilling our gas cooker because we ran out of gas, so we can have some dinners hopefully and make hot water still. Now we're gonna head down south. We're driving about 500 kilometers today through Zimbabwe to Matobo National Park. That's today's destination. We're both feeling a little under the weather. It's not great, but the 2 nights in the Airbnb here were a very good call. So, onwards. We're driving down what is supposed to be an A road, a highway in Zimbabwe, and it is the worst paved road I've ever seen. It's full of potholes, and there's wild animals and domestic animals just crossing the road left, right, and center, which means we're driving at about 30 kilometers per hour on a damn highway. Not only are we driving on the worst paved roads we've ever seen, but we just had to pay a toll, $2, okay, whatever, but we just had to pay a toll to use the road. And I asked the lady, I said, so what does the toll pay for? Because there's a lot of potholes. And she laughed and she said, welcome to Zimbabwe. So the toll pays for nothing, essentially, is what we just learned. So we are currently in a town called Bulawayo, about 400 or 500 kilometers from Victoria Falls. It's a huge city and we're very overwhelmed and we're trying to get gas, but either they don't have diesel at the gas station, which is what we need, or they don't take card. So now we're in an ATM. None of my cards, I used 4 different cards and none of them worked. So Nikias is trying his card so we can get cash, so we can get some gas. We've made it to Big Cave in Matobo National Park. We have started setting up for the night. The stupid thing is that we did fill up our gas because it ran out, so we filled it up, but the top of it doesn't work. The valve is broken, so we can no longer actually use the gas. It's fine because we had to return a filled gas tank as part of our terms and conditions for the rental, so at least we've done that, but we have no way of using hot water for the rest of our trip, so we're having to improvise. So for tonight's improvisation, the boys are making an open fire, and we are going to cook our dinner, which is ready to be cooked, on an open fire tonight.
What will be burnt?
Yep, I've certainly never cooked my dinner on an open fire before, so...
Do you think that shit can melt?
I hope not, because it's steel.
It will be fucking black afterwards.
I don't really care anymore. And those handles are gonna be hella hot.
Fuck, they gonna smell.
They're plastic. I don't think it worked that well, but hopefully it tastes good, even if it's not hot and fully cooked. To give you an idea, by the way, most campsites have had really nice bathrooms. Check out this bathroom here. Like, we're in the middle of the desert, and they're actually really, like, look at the showers. That's really nice for a campsite. Admittedly, we've had some stressful days. The whole thing's been stressful since day one. But it's definitely been an adventure. And we've absolutely learned a lot about ourselves in the process. Coming back from this trip, more resilient and brave than I think ever thought possible. I mean, I'm literally camping in Zimbabwe. Morning, I am feeling a little better today, so hopefully that's a good sign. It's just past 8 o'clock and we have just packed up to leave Big Cave and head into the Matobo Hills National Park. Actually, I think we're already in the park, but we're gonna go and see the Matobo Hills this morning. Okay, so we didn't end up going to Matobo Hills because the weather wasn't great. Neither of us were feeling up to it. It would have been an extra like 60 kilometers of driving, and all of our tires were pretty flat because we hadn't had the tire pressure refilled since like early Botswana, which was like 1,500 kilometers ago. So we were just like, we're not gonna do it. Went back into Bulawayo, got the tire pressure done, took some ibuprofen, both of us, feeling slightly better. So we've left the town, city now. We're out in the open again. We've paid our tolls on the various unmaintained Zimbabwean roads, and now we are heading for the South African border, which means that this is the end of our time in Zimbabwe. I don't think either of us are ever planning on coming back to this country. There's just a lot of challenges that we faced, and yeah. Road police checks before and after every single city that we've come across since we left Etosha in Namibia. They will stop you about 2 kilometers outside the city or before the city, and usually they just ask us where we're going and where we're coming from, and they tend to like look inside the car, make sure that we look, I guess tourists. We never really know what the purpose is. We always just say hello, we tell them where we're off to, that we've been to a very nice place in their country, and they say, have a good day, my brother. They never really talk to me, they only talk to Nikias, obviously. And we're getting very used to them. We've been to about 25 so far. We have reached the Zimbabwe-South African border. We paid our last toll on these awful roads, and the border is in sight, and the sky is blue.